Hello there, I'm T Styles, and I provide writers on very great tips on how to write, market, and publish their books. So if that interests you, please subscribe and like right now. I'm going to give you 6 reasons why writing your book is probably giving you anxiety. I want to give you a little bit of background on myself. I started my book career in 2006, and it was official and hardcore in 2008 when I got my book deal with Triple Crown Publications. It was an urban fiction publishing house. It was the urban fiction publishing house. And at that point, I wrote my books and I was pretty much sure about where I wanted to go within my career. Okay. But when those books were successful and they made the Essence bestsellers list and things like that, I started being afraid of what was next for me. I didn't know where I was going to go next. I didn't know, if my next book was going to be any good. And as I started to get further or deeper into my career as the years passed, I started seeing the same ideas pop up and cause issues for me early on. So I want to give you 6 things to consider so that you, number one, know that you are not alone, that you're able to not judge yourself so harshly, so that you are able to get your book done, get an income, because that's what we're talking about, getting an income. You're able to get that and then write the next book, because I also promote making sure that you're prolific. So I'm going to be looking at my notes. Number one, you don't know your story. When you first have an idea about what book you want to write, this is the best time to make sure you outline. You want to make sure that when you're outlining that your focus is on your people. You want to be able to know them like your favorite aunt or your cousin. You want to know how they look, how they smell, where they like to eat. You want to be that specific. So outline your book. The reason why this isn't an issue is a lot of writers, especially when they first start out and they have success, they'll write the very first book. That book is successful. They didn't outline it. They can do the second one and the third one. But I'm here to tell you, as an OG who's been in this business a long time, you're not going to be able to continue with that mentality for a long time. You want to make sure that you know your story and that you delve into it when you're most excited about it. Otherwise, you will have anxiety if you're continuing to try to push out that book anyway. Number 2, you are judging your pen game. Now, judging your pen game can mean a lot of things. Number 1, you could be judging your pen game against just believing that your book is not where it needs to be as far as your word flow, or you may be judging your pen game against one of your favorite authors. Listen, I've been writing for a long time right now, and there are still moments where I say, ugh, I'm not feeling this character. Is this character too grimy? Maybe or are they too soft? But because I realize that this is a part of the process, I don't entertain it. So when you are in a position where you feel like you're about to judge your characters, I want you to pause and then realize that every writer has started somewhere. And I want you to remember me. I'm a successful writer. I'm still writing right now, and I still go through that. The difference is I don't allow that voice to prevent me from getting my story done. Number 3, if you are an urban fiction writer, you are a horror fiction writer, a thriller writer, or you write really complicated, intense drama, you want to remember or know the reason that you are doing this. So number 3, the reason why your book is giving you anxiety is you're writing really stressful, violent content without understanding why. You have to remember, as a writer, when you are writing these tales and you are delving into your storylines, your mind does not know that you aren't participating in this experience, okay? And that's why having a reason in the front of your mind at all times will be a beacon so that you know there's a method literally to the madness. In other words, let's say you are writing a story about somebody who's dealing with psychological and physical abuse, and it's graphic, and you want it to be graphic because you want to make sure that people understand what this character is going through, because it may inform his or her decisions going forward. While you're writing this book, and if you find yourself being kind of stressed or having some anxiety, you can remind yourself, look, I'm writing this thing because the purpose of me writing this story is to show people that you don't have to be a victim in these failed relationships, that there is something better for you, even if it means being by yourself. So by having a reason while you're writing these violent, stressful scenes, it'll help reduce your anxiety, which will still allow you to be honest to your storyline and keep going forward. Number 4, you prefer to let your pen flow. Now, this is different because it still touches on the outline, but it's just a little bit different. You preferring to let your pen flow without any focus is a time waster. For me, I have a very rich life. I'm married. I got friends. I got family. I got a lot of things that I want to do. I love my alone time. So the last thing I want to do is to be sitting in my office and just allowing or letting my pen flow on its own. I don't have time for that. So unlike the first thing that we talked about, which was meant not knowing your story, the letting a pen flow is getting into a constant habit of just letting your pen do anything that it wants to do, and then telling or believing that at some point it's going to continuously bring you to an end. Outlining is the key. This is the number one reason why my business has boomed at the Elite Writers Academy with my planners. My mega page by page book planner, my character development planner. Those are bestsellers because writers understand the importance of organizing the thoughts, and it's preventing you from wasting a lot of time. So letting your pen go willy-nilly is very stressful because at some point you're going to reach to a point where you say, okay, what am I doing again? The next point is it's taking too long. This definitely causes writers to have anxiety. Taking too long is one of two things. Number one, you're being impatient. You want the book to be done now. That's not how this works. Even with the painter is going to take their time, grab the right brush, dip it in the right paint, make the right strokes before their painting really comes to its design or to fruition. That's the same thing that we do. So if you are impatient and aren't willing to go through the process, can you really call yourself a writer? It's not just about the end product. It's about the dance. So being impatient is one way you may think it's taking too long. But the biggest way goes right back to what I'm talking about, which is word count. You want to make sure that you know a rough idea of how many words you want to do. I say to myself, okay, I'm going to shoot for 50,000 words on the first draft or 45,000 words on my first draft. Okay, if I want 50,000 words or 45,000 words on my first draft, how many words am I going to have to reach or write per day to get up to this point? I did a course, How to Write a Book in 7 Days Without Writing. And in that course, every day I show writers exactly what to write each day to get to that goal. And guess what? When it's done and you have a goal, it's easier to obtain. So then you're not worrying about, okay, it's taking too long because you understand the process. You know exactly how long it's going to take. The next point is you don't know what happens next after you write your book. There are writers who go into their writing process and they're getting their books done, but they drive their own selves crazy by saying, okay, when I finish this book, is anybody going to even read it? Does anybody even care? How am I going to sell this book? What am I going to do? That goes back to prep work. When I'm finding that when I teach people how to write the books, that at least 70 or 80% of the process of structuring their stories is the planning phase. So that when you know in advance, because you have your marketing schedule already done, and you already know how many times you're going to be on social media, when you're going to set up your accounts to make sure that you are able to get the income from libraries. When you already have that done, then you don't have to stress yourself out while you are writing, because you need those resources to create the best story possible. I really hope this helps. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to comment. I really want to hear from you and see if this content is helping you. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.